Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is Thanksgiving. So for those living here in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I just got done having dinner with my family and I wanted to do a video this week about Vinegar Syndrome, but unfortunately my schedule was really busy, so I had to wait to the last minute. But I'm sure a lot of people are looking up Vinegar Syndrome videos on YouTube because in a couple hours the sale is going to kick off. We have the Beastmaster out on 4K UHD, as well as Fade to Black with two slipcover choices. A 3D movie, I think, which I think people are saying it's like Silent Madness. I've never heard of it. There's another mystery title, which people have been assuming is Don't Panic, which is a Mexican Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff. And also there's a Giallo box set. So there's a bunch of stuff, as well as some new titles from AGFA, Fun City Editions. Oh yeah, and then there's also some older Vinegar Syndrome titles that are going to have newly approved slipcovers. So you could grab those too. And of course, there's always an opportunity to get some back catalog titles. And this video is for those who have, are thinking about getting, some stuff in the sale, they're unsure. I picked a couple titles from the Vinegar Syndrome archive and 5 recommendations if you are still thinking about what to grab. So let's just get into the Vinegar Syndrome archive titles. I have 2, and let's see here. First up we have is Savage Dawn. It stars Lance Hendrickson, I think George Kennedy. Yeah, George Kennedy's in this, and Karen Black, I think, is in this one as well. I remember really enjoying this one. I had a bad movie night, or like B-movie night, with one of my friends a while back, and we checked this one out. A lot of fun. I think there's a limited amount, and I have 158 out of 4,000. And once it's gone, guys, these VSA titles, once they're gone, and you don't want to spend $100 on a movie from a scalper. Don't support scalpers. And 2, it's not worth $100. It's worth $25 if that's the price that you are willing to pay. All right, and the next one is from this year. We have LA Wars, and those who know me well know that I'm a sucker for movies that are kind of like Lethal Weapon ripoffs. You think like Samurai Cop, Miami Connection, LA Wars. I love it when Vinegar Syndrome does horror, of course, but I'm also a huge fan of when they put out like these awful like action movies. I wouldn't say awful, but they're just very cheesy and they're obviously ripoff. So that's LA Wars. That's my second choice for a VSA title. And now we're just going to go into the 5 recommendations. And the first one we have is Blood Games. And this came out earlier this year during their halfway to Black Friday sale. And this was a really interesting 90s, female directed, by the way, sort of survival horror film. It was kind of similar to, like, say, Deliverance or First Blood meets a softball team. And there's some really weird humor in it as well. And this cover is just fantastic, by the way. I highly recommend Blood Games. Okay, the next title we have is Cutting Class, which is a horror film that stars Brad Pitt from the late 80s. And this is one that I don't think a lot of people are talking about anymore because this was a Black Friday title a few years ago. And now that the slipcover is gone, I just, don't hear many people talking about it. It is a late 80s slasher, but it's also a high school film too. And I really enjoyed it. I don't remember too much about it, but I remember I enjoyed it. So that's Cutting Class. The next title we have is another one that came out earlier this year, and that is Deadline. But this is a Canadian film from 1980, and it's kind of like a little bit of like a Stephen King vibe to it. It's about this author who is known for writing horror, and his work is now becoming movies, and people are kind of critiquing his stance on violence. But then also he has this weird relationship now with his wife, and he there's all these like sort of, reminded me a little bit of like 8.5, but maybe more like Hat in the Brain, I guess, but like a Canadian version of 8.5. It's not a Fellini film by all means. But Deadline really took me by surprise. It's been one of my favorite blind buys so far in the world of COVID. All right, our fourth pick is a Rudy Ray Moore film. I couldn't make a Vinegar Syndrome list without including the great Rudy Ray Moore, and this is his sequel to Dolomite, The Human Tornado. And I watched this film with my buddy Greg and Brian for my birthday over the summer, and we just had a blast. This movie is so quotable. I think this is the one where he says, like, put your weight on it. If you saw the Eddie Murphy, Rudy Ray Moore biopic, this is just a blast. This is a movie that you get a few friends over, a pizza, some beer, and just laugh. You know, it's just a fun movie. And I really hope Vinegar Syndrome, either they make a box set for the Rudy Ray Moore films or they put individual slipcovers. I don't know how they would do that, but yeah, this is The Human Tornado. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. And the last title we have is another one of those films where you just sit down with some friends, grab some beers, and watch. And this is Psycho Cop Returns. This is a slipcover that's pretty old now, so you won't get the slipcover, but you will get to see Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration from The Office as a killer cop who decides to attack a bunch of Wall Street bros having a bachelor party in their office. This was filmed by, what's his name? I'm sometimes bad with remembering. Adam Rifkin. He directed Detroit Rock City. And this is a film I think he shot really like low budget. Like, we're talking Little Shop of Horrors type of, but I think it was shot like in like 2 weeks. And it shows. But this one's just really raunchy and dirty and filthy, and I had a blast. My jaw was like down to the ground. Like, this is just super gory, really weird movie you would catch like very late at night on television. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my 5 Vinegar Syndrome pickups along with VSA. I hope everyone gets what they want during this sale, and expect a new video coming actually quite soon. My friend Greg and I, we're going to go to Canton to pick up some Criterions. The end of the sale is, I think, the 30th, I believe, of November. So we're just going to grab some titles because we can't go to the archive to pick up our Vinegar Syndrome titles. But I will be doing that sometime next week. So stay awesome, stay safe. Thank you for those who have recently subscribed, and have a good one. Take care.